to continue our knitting tutorial, we're going to begin what's called the basic knit stitch. And as you knit your stitches into rows, as shown in this swatch here, you're going to get what's called the garter stitch. We're going to bring our new set of 10 stitches and place them toward the front of that knitting needle, or to put in front of that point there. And what we're going to do is knit in what's called the continental style. So I like to knit in this style because I think it's a lot easier. It gives your left hand a little bit more to do, but I find that I can control my needles better and I can knit a lot faster than if I had done so in what's called the English style, where you do everything with your right hand. So knit in the continental style, we're going to not grab the tail, but grab the area that is attached to the ball of yarn. So we're going to create our tension first by slouching the yarn over the ring finger, middle finger, and pinky again. And then I'm going to swoop my hand around, catch the yarn with my pointer, and then hold my yarn, or hold my needle. So now I've created tension here, and my pointer finger creates a bit of control. And so with this needle now, we're going to bring our needle into that first loop coming from the left, and then stick that needle into the loop so that it comes out through the back. So if everyone can see that, here you go. Now what this needle is then going to do is pick that stitch from the pointer of your left hand. I lost it for a second. And you're going to pull that stitch off. So we're going to again bring that stitch from the left hand side towards the back to the right. Pick your stitch off and pull it, pull it through. It looks clunky because I'm doing this slowly, but the faster you go, the easier it is. So bring this needle into the left side of the loop towards the back, pick off the yarn, pull it through, and slide that stitch off. Bring your needle in from the left, push it toward the back, pick the stitch off, and pull it through. And if I do that fast, you'll see that it's actually a little bit smoother than if I did it slowly. Oops. Okay. Got caught up there, but that's all right. Now, when you're knitting that first row, that's your first row there, after you've cast it on, sometimes it is a tougher row to knit than the rest of the oncoming rows and stitches. So now that we have our first row completed, this should be a lot smoother. Again, coming from the back, the left hand side, go to the back, pick off your stitch, pull it through. Sometimes I use my nail if it slides a little bit too much, but once you start going fast, you shouldn't need your nail as much. I try not to use my nail because it might actually tear the fiber of the yarn. All right, so we've done the knit stitch in 2 rows. And as you keep on going, eventually you're going to get a fabric that looks like this. And it's the same on the front and the back. The next stitch I'm going to show you is what's called the purl stitch. And the purl stitch is like a backwards knit stitch. And what's going to happen is that instead of getting a fabric that has these nice little woven this nice woven look to it, you're going to instead start to develop what's called the stockinette stitch. And this is the iconic look for most knit fabric. It's got that nice, beautiful V shape. And the way that we get that is by knitting or performing the knit stitch on the front of your fabric and then the purl stitch on the back of your fabric. So if you notice, this is the knit stitch here, but then we have our next row of knit stitches. So to create the stockinette stitch instead of the garter stitch pattern, we're going to knit 1 row. So let's knit that row. Now, instead of knitting again, when we turn our work around, we're going to create that tension again. Now, instead of your yarn being in the back and bringing your needle like this, we're not going to do that. Instead, we're going to bring our yarn towards the front. And we're going to stick our needle into the stitch from the right towards the front instead of from the left towards the back. So now we're going to, using that same tension, you're going to pick that tail of yarn and bring your pointer down so that you can pull that stitch through and then slide it off. So again, you're going to push from the right to the front, bring your tail up, pick, bring your pointer down, and then pull that through. Push it in again toward the front, tail up, tail down, and pull it through. And continue that motion for the remainder of the row. All right, so what we've just done is knit on the front side of the fabric, which gave us these nice little V's here. Now, you might be asking, what happens if I purl all the rows as if I've knit all the rows? Well, you're gonna get the same garter stitch if you did purl on all rows. But if you did 1 knit row and 1 purl row and did that going back and forth, you're going to get the stockinette stitch.